Hi everybody, I'm Margarita, and I'll mostly be concentrating about art that was inspired by my travels, but I thought I'd start with some of my personal kind of autobiographical works for context. So I grew up running around a village with my German Shepherd, surrounded by family and nature has continued to play a really big part in my life and in my work, especially the human connection with kind of the more infinite, intricate, mystical aspects of nature. As you can see in some of these pieces. And I've always felt that my work would lend itself well to the mural format because I love to paint large, I love to use really bold colors and brushstrokes, and I believe this is my first mural created for the Salem Arts Festival, their mural slam, a couple years ago. I'm also really big into traveling. I moved to the US when I was 6 from Moscow, Russia. And when I was 13, I started going back, kind of flying back by myself to visit family. I also studied abroad in Hong Kong, and there I was introduced to the idea of backpacking. And in 2019, I fulfilled kind of a lifetime dream of backpacking throughout Asia. This is my old route that I took. It's all via land transport, so I didn't fly at all. I hate flying. So this was all trains and buses, a little bit of hitchhiking, whatever. I was on a very tight budget, so at the most expensive countries, I was spending $20 a day, staying in a lot of hostels, and naturally I started to paint murals in these hostels. So this was actually my first hostel mural in Isfahan in Iran. And you can see the hostel owner up top, and below the guy with the pineapple is a local shop owner that I grew to kind of love and buy a lot of my fruits from. And Sahan, the hostel owner, introduced me to some cafe owners downtown, and I painted their electrical box with a coffee giraffe, kind of enjoying a cup of coffee. And Sahan also wanted the entire outside wall of his mural to be decorated with these crazy alien designs. And so I started working on that. And on the left, you see the original design. But it turned out that Sahan did not get the right permissions. And so the local authorities were extremely unhappy with my design. They called it a devil in a hijab. So, yeah, it was pretty crazy. So I had to paint over all of her legs, and we didn't have enough time to get all the permissions. Before I got my visa, before my visa expired, so had to kind of let go of that project. This is a mural in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, where they have really cool kind of clothing traditions with really bright colors and patterns, so I had a lot of fun painting those. This one's in Kaili, China, which was my favorite city in China by far. They have a lot of these local artistic customs, one of which is the wax batik tradition, you can see up top on the right. And so the mural is kind of dedicated to that. And in the middle you see Angel, the hostel owner. I got to know these hostel owners really well. And as I was traveling, I was also very inseparable from my camera. And I came back with just thousands of pictures that are still kind of somewhat untouched in my camera roll on Google Photos. And I started painting from these photos. So this one's inspired by, again, Iran, the Rainbow Mountains. This is the Kerman kind of desert area. This one is inspired by Hormuz, which is this really cool island in the south of Iran with the most gorgeous landscape, just completely unearthly, colorful lands. And the next one is actually from the north of Russia. It's from the same trip, the border with Estonia. There's this really cool monastery with these kind of cave burials underneath it, and a lot of the local people have village houses in that area, so I was coming back on a bus from that really beautiful landscape kind of back into reality. So this one's kind of back to our reality, back to Massachusetts. This one's in Salem, Massachusetts at the Punta Urban Art Museum, inspired by a man I photographed in Kyrgyzstan, where they have really cool horseback riding culture with like this wild freedom feel to it. And this one's again Salem Mural Slam, inspired by my own painting. And you see it on the left, called Kaleidoscope, a woman mesmerized by the fish and all of the reflections in the water that she's standing in. So some of these are very recent works. So this one's very recent. And this one is a pew that I painted for the Newton Community Pride Festival, called Sunsets Make My Spirit Soar. I actually painted it during the festival itself, so I was surrounded by all of the festivities and the people, so that was quite the interesting experience, as some of these public projects tend to be. This one's very close to home. It's in my mom's backyard. I painted it I have a little sister with a giant age gap from me, so I wanted the backyard to be kind of a more magical place for her to be. And I love folklore, I love log houses, so I made the shed into a folk log house. And I have an art studio at Western Ave Studios in Lowell, so it was really cool this summer to finally have some pieces that in places where I actually frequent. So this is in front of the Brewed Awakening Coffee House in Lowell, inspired by coffee and kind of the energy that fills us up after we drink some coffee or tea, whatever. So this is the interior of a 1970s salon that has been completely unchanged and untouched for decades since it's been closed. And I was lucky enough to visit this kind of museum of a salon very recently because I was commissioned to paint the outside of the building. And I dedicated that wall to the salon, to its interior, and to that time, that era, and the feeling that I imagined the salon to have had while it was still operational. And this is my last public art project. I just finished it a couple weeks ago, so I'm very proud of it. So thank you. That's a bit about me.